We are here today outside the London offices of Hewlett Packard to demand Hewlett Packard stop its complicity in Israel's dungeons and torture dens. Hewlett Packard provides Israeli prisons and interrogation centers the systems, servers, and IT infrastructure needed to keep them operational. One of these dungeons is the notorious Al-Jalami interrogation center in northern Israel, where Palestinian children as young as 12 years old are caged 3 floors below the surface in tiny children's cells. Filthy dark holes in the ground where a child is locked up without charge or trial in solitary confinement for up to 65 days in order to break them. Their only escape is the interrogation room where the children, shackled by their hands and their feet, are abused and tortured by the Israeli secret police for over 6 hours at a time, until they confess to trumped-up charges, usually of throwing a stone, which carries a penalty of up to 20 years. Hewlett Packard provides the IT infrastructure that keeps this hellhole operational. Shame on you, Hewlett Packard! Shame on you, Hewlett Packard! Details of Al-Jalami prison emerged from the testimonies of the children as reported by the Guardian newspaper in January 2012 and documented by Defense for Children International and the Israeli human rights group Beit Salem. The cell is 2 meters long by 1 meter wide. It's as big as a mattress without the toilet. You put down the mattress and in front is a hole in the ground toilet, the stench from which has no escape. There is no window, the air chokes you. The light is kept on 24 hours a day to inhibit sleep. The walls have sharp protrusions to prevent you from leaning against them for support. The delivery of food is through a locked flap in the door. It's the only way to mark time, dividing day from night by the arrival of the food. The breakfast tray is dropped through the flap at 4 a.m. If you don't catch the tray, the food will spill on the floor and you will be punished. The room is barely wider than the filthy 5-centimeter thin mattress that covers the floor. Many cells have no mattresses. For interrogation, you are dragged upstairs. On the ground is an iron ring. The interrogator puts your cuffs through it with your hands locked on either side. He cuffs your ankles to the chair legs. You cannot move, like a statue. The sessions can last more than 6 hours. At some facilities, children have been sexually assaulted by the interrogators and threatened with sodomy with an object if they didn't confess. Sisters and mothers have been threatened with rape in order to coerce confessions from the boys. Hewlett Packard provides the IT infrastructure that keeps this hellhole operational. Shame on you, Hewlett Packard! Shame on you, Hewlett Packard! Then there is the infamous Russian compound of Jerusalem prison, where Israeli guards torture Palestinian women. One woman, Inam Klombo, who was arrested during a protest, described how the soldiers struck blows to her face and tore her headscarf off, ripping her hair out. They threw her to the ground and kicked her in the room. Under interrogation at the Russian compound, they ordered her to strip naked. When she resisted, they attached her body to an electric shock device and tortured her. Free Palestine!
Hewlett Packard provides technical services and central servers that keeps Israel's dungeons and torture dens, including Megiddo, operational. In violation of international law, Israel has turned prisons into money-making enterprises, with the boys essentially forced to pay for their own imprisonment. Israel deliberately fails to provide Palestinian prisoners the basic essentials like edible food, clothes, underwear, shoes, hygiene products like soap and toothbrushes. The boys are forced to buy these at the extortionately priced prison shop, costing their families over 125 euros a month to provide for one child's basic needs in prison. A court hearing entails the families having to spend most of their day queuing and enduring the humiliation at the checkpoints. Hewlett Packard provides the biometric systems used at illegal Israeli checkpoints to tag Palestinians. Once past the checkpoints, the families have to wait hours at the court in anticipation of catching just a glimpse of their son. Often they are disappointed as hearings are cancelled without notice. If the 5 boys are convicted, they will be locked up for over 25 years. 5 young lives ruined with no evidence of a crime, let alone their guilt. Unfortunately, the case of the Hares boys is not an isolated event. Last year, Israel abducted 1,266 children. That's one child taken from their parents every 7 hours. We are here to demand the immediate release of the Hares boys, to demand freedom for Tamer Souf, freedom for Ali Shamlawi, freedom for Amar Souf, freedom for Mohammed Suleiman, and freedom for Mohammed Kleb. And we are here to demand Hewlett Packard stop its complicity in Israel's violations of basic human rights by immediately ending its contracts with Israel's dungeons and torture dens and to pull out of Israel. Free the Hares boys! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Hewlett Packard is the second largest investor in Israeli IT. Hewlett Packard implements and manages the server farm for the entire Israeli Army and Ministry of Defense, Israel's largest server tender worth $140 million. Those HP servers form the IT backbone of the entire Israeli war machine, which has been found guilty of war crimes and possible crimes against humanity by the UN Human Rights Council. Shame on you, Hewlett Packard!
Shame on you, Hewlett Packard!
Shame on you, Hewlett Packard!
Shame on you!
HP has been equipping the Israeli military since 2006, when it was contracted to provide the IT infrastructure for the Israeli Navy and a pilot for implementing across the entire army, helping the Navy execute its illegal blockade of Gaza which also began in 2006. In 2009, HP was contracted to supply all computer equipment to the entire Israeli military. Shame on you, Hewlett Packard!
Shame on you,